my computer gets stuck and then I have to restart it. So this is why I got late. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 1, Text 34. So I'll just read the verse. Apisvedaste Bhagavan Sukhamvo. Apisvedaste Bhagavan Sukhamvo. Yasatvatam kamadugo niruddha. Yasatvatam kamadugo niruddha. Yam amananti smahi shabdayonim. Yam amananti smahi shabdayonim. Manomayam sattvaturiya tattvam. Manomayam sattvaturiya tattvam. Apisvidas aste Bhagavan Sukhamvo. Yasatvatam kamadugo niruddha. Yam amananti smahi shabdayonim. Manomayam sattvaturiya tattvam. Word for word meaning. Api, as also, svit, whether, aste, does he, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Sukham, all happiness, Va, of you, Yaha, one who, Sattvatam, of the devotees, Kama Dugha, source of all desires, Aniruddha, the plenary expansion Aniruddha, Yam, whom, Amananti, they accept, Sma, from your, he, certainly, Shabdayonim, the cause of the Rig Veda, Mana Mayam, creator of the mind, Satvata, transcendental, Turiya, the fourth expansion, Tattvam, principle. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. May I inquire whether Aniruddha is doing well? He is the fulfiller of all the desires of the pure devotees and has been considered from yore to be the cause of the Rig Veda, the creator of the mind and the fourth plenary expansion of Vishnu. May I inquire whether Aniruddha is doing well? He is the fulfiller of all the desires of the pure devotees and has been considered from yore to be the cause of the Rig Veda, the creator of the mind, and the fourth plenary expansion of Vishnu. Adi Chaturbhuja, the original expansion from Baladev, are Vasudev, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. All of them are Vishnu Tattvas, or non-different personalities of Godhead. In the incarnation of Sri Rama, all these different expansions appeared for particular pastimes. Lord Rama is the original Vasudev, and his brothers were Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. Aniruddha is also the cause of Mahavishnu, from whose breathing the Rig Veda appeared. All this is nicely explained in the Markandeya Purana. In the incarnation of Lord Krishna, Aniruddha appeared as a son of the Lord. Lord Krishna in Dwarka is the Vasudeva expansion of the original group. The original Lord Krishna never leaves Golok Vrindavan. All plenary expansions are one and the same Vishnu Tattva, and there is no difference in their potency. Om Gyanam Timirandhasya Gyananjana Shalataya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadammayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitangsha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Okay. So this is a very technical verse, and Vidura is asking, he's asking Uddhava about every important inhabitant of Dwarka, and Vidura is he is speaking based upon his his relationship, his understanding of the different people there, and all these great personalities. They're expansions of the Lord, or they're not ordinary beings. They're so extraordinary. Yet he's asking about their welfare, and that is very surprising, because as we know, Mother Yashoda was very concerned about Krishna's welfare, though Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. But Vidura, he is somewhat more aware of the greatness or the glories of Krishna. He is, he is not so much in a intimate, you could say, in a familiar relationship with Krishna. He's well aware that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, yet still he's asking about the welfare of these great personalities. So in Dwarka, the Chaturvyuha, the four, which Prabhupada is referring to as the Adi Chaturbhuja, they were there as part of Krishna's pastimes. And Vasudev is Lord Krishna. So Krishna in Dwarka is Vasudev. Sankarshana is Lord Balaram. Pradyumna is the son of Krishna and Rukmini. And Aniruddha is the son of Pradyumna and Rukmavati. So he is actually the grandson of Krishna. Though they are the Chaturvyuha, they appear in Krishna's Leela in this way, that Vasudeva is Krishna, Sankarshana is Lord Balaram, Pradyumna is the son of Krishna and Rukmini, and Aniruddha is the son of Pradyumna and Rukmavati. I hope I'm saying that name right. I just cannot remember exactly. The son of Pradyumna and Rukmavati. Yes. So this is the wonderful glory of Krishna, that he can manifest in so many ways, and he himself can manifest as his own children. These are all non-different. Prabhupada here is saying all the plenary expansions are one and the same Vishnu Tattva. They're all the same. There's no difference. And in fact, Aniruddha is the cause of Mahavishnu. So Mahavishnu is worshipped all over the world. We say, all 10 avatars, they come from Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is worshipped as non-different than Krishna. But even Lord Vishnu is the expansion of Aniruddha. So how close he is to the actual Lord. I mean, he's really non-different than Lord Krishna. So Krishna is appearing as his son, and Krishna is appearing as his grandson. And even Krishna in Dwarka is, you could say, less Krishna than Balaram in Vrindavan. So, Lord Balaram is manifesting as Sankarshan, but at the same time, the Chaturvyuha, they are manifesting from Lord Balaram. Prabhupada says that there's no difference between Krishna and Balaram except for the color. So the very first expansion of Lord Krishna is Lord Balaram. So how amazing it is, that these and Lord Nityananda is non-different than Lord Balaram. So how amazing it is that in Vrindavan Leela, Krishna is so intimate, and in Dwarka Leela, in some ways, even Krishna himself is you could say he's one of the Chaturvyuhas, not as as Swayam Krishna. So here Prabhupada is making the point that the original Krishna never leaves Golok Vrindavan. Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. And this is actually a passage in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Lord Chaitanya, he tells, I believe, Rupa Goswami, that don't let Krishna leave Vrindavan. Don't ever say that Krishna left Vrindavan, because Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. And then the devotees were very confused that how is Lord Chaitanya saying this? That Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. He left Vrindavan. This is why all the gopis, the coward boys, Nanda Maharaj, Yashodamai, they're all dying in separation from Krishna. They're all feeling his separation. So if he never left Vrindavan, then how is it possible that they're in separation? So Lord Chaitanya, so he must have left Vrindavan. But then Lord Chaitanya explains that that Krishna who left was not Krishna, it was Narayan, it was Lord Vishnu. And Krishna in Vrindavan is always Krishna in Vrindavan. Similarly, when we are worshipping Radha Krishna deities, then we are actually worshipping Lakshmi Narayan, because Lord Krishna can actually be only worshipped, or Lord Krishna as Swayam Bhagavan only manifests when we are on the platform of Raganuga Bhakti. When we're on the platform of spontaneous love for Krishna, on the intimate, spontaneous level of Raganuga Bhakti and then Bhava, Prema, those are the devotees who can actually serve and interact with Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, with Vrindavan Krishna. Everyone else, so until we're on the platform of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, we're actually, though we are seeing Radha and Krishna on the altar, we're actually, they are Lakshmi and Narayan, Prabhupada explains. So Radha Krishna worship is very, very exalted, and Lord Krishna is unknown, is only known to his spontaneous devotees. Similarly, when Krishna goes to Hastinapur, and there he interacts with Duryodhana, then Duryodhana is only seeing the Vishnu Krishna. He's not seeing actual Krishna. And this is why when the gopis, they go to Kurukshetra and they see Krishna face to face there. Krishna is there. The gopis are there. The residents of Vrindavan are there. Why is it that they don't just stay there with Krishna? When they go there, then they want to bring Krishna back to Vrindavan. Why do they want to do that? Why not? I mean, they're surrendered devotees, just stay wherever Krishna is. No, they want to bring Krishna back to Vrindavan because they want Vrindavan Krishna. They want the original Krishna. And they can understand that the original Krishna is only present in Vrindavan. So, as we know, when Krishna left Vrindavan, then he promised the gopis and the residents of Vrindavan that I will return. He leaves and he says, I will return. I'll return back to Vrindavan. So every day, the residents of Vrindavan would expect that Krishna will come back. Because when Krishna makes a promise, especially to his great devotees, then he keeps that promise. It's not possible that he can break his promise, and even that to his most intimate, spontaneous, loving devotees. As far as we know, we say, oh, Krishna never came back to Vrindavan. But Krishna promised that he'll come back to Vrindavan. Krishna may break his promise at any time, but he doesn't break his promise to his devotee. Because if he did, then how can the devotee depend on the protection of Krishna? It's Krishna who tells Arjuna, you declared boldly that my devotee never perishes. So if his word to Arjuna has no value, then how can Arjuna have the faith that Krishna will protect him? So it's described that among all the qualities that Krishna has, his beauty is there, his intelligence is there, his power is there. Among all the qualities, his supreme quality is Bhakta Vatsala. That is his love and affection towards his devotees. Bhakta Vatsala. So how is it possible that he would break his promise to the residents of Vrindavan? It's not possible. So in fact, Krishna does return to Vrindavan. In fact, when he is in Dwarka, then he is always remembering the residents of Vrindavan, and he thinks thinks about them every single day. So now, on one hand, Krishna never leaves Vrindavan because he's always there, because we just said that Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. But on the other hand, he also returns to Vrindavan, even though he never leaves. So he's actually never left, and this is why all the residents of Vrindavan, they constantly feel Krishna's presence. But still, in terms of his, so to say, physical presence, he disappears, and he comes back to Vrindavan. So Krishna is in Dwarka, and one day he's really missing Srimati Radharani and everyone in Vrindavan, but particularly Srimati Radharani. And so he is unable to control his feelings, and he's missing because he's also antaryami. He knows that something is wrong in Vrindavan. And as we may know, for especially the gopis of Vrindavan and Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, they are in so much pain of separation from Krishna that they would prefer to give up their life. Due to their separation from Krishna, they would prefer to give up their life. But why are they not giving up their life? Why is it that they don't give up their life and keep on to their life? Who can tell? What is the reason? Lord Chaitanya in the CC, he says, Chaitanya Chaitamrita, he says that I have no love for Krishna, because if I had love for Krishna, I would die. I would die in separation from him. But because I don't have love for him, therefore my life is still there. Now the gopis of Vrindavan had the highest love for Krishna, and for them a moment was unbearable without Krishna. So why didn't they just die in separation from Krishna?
Prabhu, is it because they're waiting? Because of their faith in his words that he would return?
Yes, their faith in his words, and because they're waiting for him to return. And that's absolutely correct. But though they are waiting, and though they have faith in their words, they could still give up their life. Even if they give up their life, they'll go back to Krishna. So there's still a further reason related to that. There's a further reason why they as a service to the Lord, they don't give up their life. So it's for their own reasons, like you're mentioning, but there's a further reason. Yeah.
Because that bhava is Krishna, Prabhu. That bhava itself is Krishna.
The bhava itself is Krishna. Okay. Yes.
Sorry. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. They have love for Krishna, and that feeling itself puts them in touch with Krishna. Yes.
Is it because they're worried Krishna comes, who will take care of him?
They're worried that if Krishna comes, who will take care of him? Okay, that is very close. We're getting warmer, so to say. Yeah. Any other thoughts? So they are thinking that if Krishna comes back and he finds that everyone has died in separation from him, then he will feel pain in his heart. It's just like, if the youth in the family, they go to the university and they go to college in some other country, and they have a great time and they're really enjoying there. And then when they come back, they find that everyone has died in separation from them. Then they'll feel very embarrassed, right? They'll feel, great pain. Like we all know this, most of us here, because, our parents may live in India and we are here, and to come to America and make a prosperous life for ourselves, we leave them there. And so it's every person's desire that, we should be there before they give up their body. And because we feel embarrassment that we are here and they are there, and they're suffering in their old age while we are enjoying here. So Krishna may feel the same way, that he left his parents, Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda. He left them and went to Dwarka to become a great king, and there he has 16,108 wives. He may feel that, see, I was so ungrateful. And materially speaking, in the material consciousness, one would think this way, that he became very successful, he became a celebrity, and now he's off, he's a king, and he doesn't even return home to see his family members. So when Krishna comes back, if he sees that the whole Vrindavan is deserted and everyone has died there, then what will he think? He'll feel so unhappy. They're not concerned what will we think of us. He will feel so much pain. He'll feel the embarrassment. He'll feel the suffering. And so therefore, just to serve the Lord, just so that when he comes back, he feels that he gave us no pain. By leaving, he did not give us any pain. They were holding on to their life. So how deep is their thinking in their service to the Lord? That Krishna will feel pain if he sees us die. Therefore, we will keep our life alive. I mean, someone may think, oh, Krishna will be so pleased to see my love if I die out of love for him. But no, there's even a higher service that I have to keep therefore, Lord Chaitanya, he tells Sanatana Goswami, we were hearing from Maharaj when he came, that you cannot give up your life because your body belongs to me. You cannot give up your life even though you want to, and this is out of your ecstatic love for me, but you cannot, because that will be an encumbrance to your service, because your body is engaged in my service. Similarly, I think it's in the Krishna book or somewhere, it's described that the residents of Dwarka, when they are fanning Lord Krishna, then seeing the beauty of Krishna, tears come down their eyes. Yet they curse those tears, because due to those tears, they cannot see Krishna properly. And because of that, they cannot fan him properly. So they don't let those tears come, even though those tears are streaming down their eyes. So more important than the expression of the emotion of our devotion is the expression of our service to the Lord. The devotee doesn't let the emotion come in the way of his service. The first thing is the service. If the emotion is a disturbance, then the devotee keeps it away. And this is why great devotees, they don't exhibit their ecstatic symptoms, even though they have them, because it may be an encumbrance in their preaching. So Krishna, they had kept their life alive, and they were just somehow holding on. And in fact, not just that, but every day in the faith, and like all of you said, it was all correct answers. They had complete faith in Krishna's words. Another quality of the devotee, that the devotee has complete faith in the Lord. So he said he will return, because he said that he's going to return. So every day they would decorate the path with flowers, so that when Krishna comes, the whole path should be bursting with fresh flowers. So not only will Krishna think that we're all alive, but he'll think that there's a great festival going on here, that everyone is so happy here. And so they decorated all the roadways, everything. So anyone came to Vrindavan, they thought that the festival is going on there, because they were preparing for the arrival festival of Krishna. Right? Just like when a great soul like Prabhupada or our spiritual master, when they come, then it's very traditional to decorate the temple or the house, put flowers outside for the arrival festival. So they were doing that every day for Krishna's coming. So day by day, year after year, decade after decade, they were waiting for Krishna like this and preparing for him. Imagine their complete absorption in Krishna consciousness. Krishna, I think, left for about 100 years. So 100 years, they were doing this every single day. And though Krishna was not returning every single day, they knew that Krishna is going to return. The same level of decoration. You know, we would think, oh, well, they did it for 10 days, and the next day it's like half the flowers, and after that, 1/4 of the flowers. And so then one day, Srimati Radharani could just no longer bear the separation of Krishna. And she told Lalita Sakhi, Vishakha Sakhi, she said, now I'm just giving up my life. There's no way I can hold on to my life. Krishna will return, I know that, but I simply cannot bear the separation from him. I'm not unable to hold on to this life. So her final breath is leaving her. She's starting to stop breathing. She's laying down, and Lalita Sakhi, Vishakha Sakhi, they're very worried what to do, how to keep Srimati Radharani alive. And on that same day, Krishna was greatly missing Srimati Radharani. And he tells Balaram, he says, I cannot wait here any longer. I simply cannot. I know I should not go back. I know all my duties are not finished, but I must go back. And he calls his chariot driver, he calls his charioteer, and he tells him, you go at the speed of the mind, and you go to Vrindavan. And he's rushing to Vrindavan, and Srimati Radharani is losing her life. Every moment, the countdown is there. Every minute it's getting too late. And then finally she is just losing her life. And she is almost completely, but then Krishna arrives in Vrindavan on his chariot, and he's rushing towards Srimati Radharani because he knows everything. And but he's still a little far distance. But Vrinda Devi, she comes to the rescue. She arranges for a very powerful breeze to happen at that time in Vrindavan. And when that breeze hits Lord Krishna, the air, right? Then the wind carries the scent of Krishna. And Srimati Radharani, who's now unconscious, and she hasn't breathed now for 1 hour, and she's just about to lose, the breath is about to leave. She breathes in Krishna's scent. And the moment she breathes that in, she comes back to consciousness. It wakes up her senses. And due to that fragrance of Krishna's body, she can understand that Krishna has arrived. And then Krishna arrives at the scene, and then Radha and Krishna meet again. So Krishna does return to Vrindavan, and that is again, Krishna's coming on his chariot. This is yet another pastime of Rath Yatra pastime. So there's a lot of Rath Yatra pastimes. One is when the gopis go to Kurukshetra and they pull Krishna back to Vrindavan. Another is when Subhadra comes back from Vrindavan and she starts telling all the queens of Vrindavan about the residents of Vrindavan, and Krishna is not allowed in that room because they don't want him to go back to Vrindavan. If he hears this, he'll start missing them too much. But he hears from the other room. He stands next to the door, unknown to them, and he hears. And Lord Balaram also stands, and so their eyes become very big in ecstasy, and their hands go inside, and they take the form of Jagannath in their ecstasy. And then the final one is of this of Krishna returning on his chariot back to Vrindavan. So Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, yet he also leaves and he also returns, and there's no comparison we see of the feelings. Although everything is perfect, everything is incomparable in Vaikuntha. There's no comparison in Vaikuntha of this of the feelings there to Dwarka. Krishna is in Dwarka, but he's always thinking of the residents of Vrindavan. And this is why Jagannath Puri is so special, because it's Krishna in Dwarka, but it's Krishna who's always thinking of the residents of Vrindavan. So even Dwarka is permeated by the mood of Vrindavan. Even Dwarka residents are constantly thinking of Krishna's Vrindavan pastimes because they know that's the ultimate, and therefore they're always absorbed in those thoughts. So I will stop here. It's 8:10, and if there's any comments or questions.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Sri Guru and Gauranga.
Please
It's
accept
so
my
wonderful,
humble
it's so breathtaking, so wonderful. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dhanyavad.
Dhanavad Pranam, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
We are in International Society for Krishna Consciousness. As a title, Krishna Consciousness. And we are all supposed to imbibe that Krishna consciousness, like the way that meaning of Krishna consciousness haven't understood the meaning of Krishna consciousness, even though Prabhupada has titled it, right? So that means everybody, all of us have to imbibe that Krishna, whatever Krishna does, that means we need to have the same consciousness in us. But one thing I see is everybody is in the process of purification and shortcomings. And there is always a conflict, right? There is always a conflict because everybody is trying to purify, and there is some shortcomings and so on and so forth. And so based on what Premananda Mataji was telling yesterday, that she knows that, we are anticipating there is definitely a struggle going forward. Might be there, but we have to succumb our egos or whatever we need to do. So how do we, my question is, if one person is Krishna, see, not everybody is in the same maturity level, right? So we need to get into that maturity end of the day. So, but there is a struggle in between. So my thoughts are, how do we, all of us, get this right Krishna consciousness to act in the right way? Right?
Yes.
So how do we, there is always a struggle because as a child, she, walks and falls and walks and walks. It's a struggle for everyone.
Yes.
So nobody is great, nobody is done. But one thing is, as Premananda Mataji was telling, she's inspiring everyone, but somebody gets inspired, somebody don't get inspired, and there is always a conflict. Why, what, etc. So my thought of your class, I did not hear your whole class. I joined in the last, but just thought came that, this is what Krishna is teaching all of us. But how do we imbibe that, and going forward, how do we survive? Not survive, but just be happy and serve Krishna.
Yeah, no, this is a nice point. Nice question, Prabhu. One example that I don't remember who gave is that just like if you have a bag filled with rocks, and when they shake, then but they stay in that same bag, then eventually they become smooth. The sharp corners get smooth because they rub against each other, and then they get smooth. So in the same way, this is Prabhupada's society, that by staying together and serving together, we get smoothed over time. But the key thing is somehow to stay in that bag and not be a rock that jumps out of the bag. But Prabhupada has said that the exemplars, actually he said this, the perfect examples of Krishna consciousness are the gopis of Vrindavan. And that's because at every moment they're conscious of Krishna. They never just forget him. It's like Krishna consumes their life. So somehow, gradually, we have to become more and more Krishna conscious, meaning that Krishna thoughts, Krishna activities, Krishna, name, Krishna, everything consumes our life. And we gradually have no other life other than this. And that's why it's just a matter of time, and we in the big scheme of things, we're making a lot of progress, but in the immediate present, we are facing challenges like you're saying. So it's a combination of everything. It's our conscious practice of Krishna consciousness. It's the association, it's the reading. But wherever we are and whatever we're doing, it's all wonderful. It's all auspicious. It's all taking us more towards Krishna. But we have to try our best. So
now, this is a small group, so that's what I'm talking.
Yes.
See, suppose somebody is materially frustrated, and he thinks that, oh, ISKCON is better, so they'll come here. They look at people, and if we all behave the same, then what does it make any difference for a person who joined, recently joined ISKCON? It's the same thing, right? What does he feel? Oh, this is again another one. Correct? No? So how do we make that change is important. It's not an individual, it's a collective. So if I say I am right, and another person also said he's right, but it's not, but actually he's not right. But actually, so for that's where the conflict comes. And then somebody comes, the newcomer said, oh, really? Oh, this is another organization. What's the big deal in it? So as a close contact, I'm just thinking, I was meditating on what Mataji said yesterday. And then that's why I thought brought it to a group like this internally, and see how we can all work together and each other to serve Krishna. That's my thought.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Gopal,
Krishna.
Hari Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to
My
Srila
humble
Prabhupada.
obeisance.
And Hare Krishna, Balaram Prasad Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I'm sorry, I'm jumping in the middle
No,
of this.
please. I was actually going to say yes.
Thank you, Mataji.
I was, Srimad Bhagavatam is full of so much practical information in there, in every example that we are seeing there. But just taking yesterday's, this Lord Shiva's prayers, and just that one section of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is so much message in there. And all of us, Gopal Hari Prabhu said that stay in the bag and the rough edges will go. I remember hearing that message long time ago from Ramapada Swami Maharaj, when the pebbles on a riverbed when the river is flowing, and when the stones rub each other, eventually all the stones will get smoothed. That is a fact, because we can also see that when you look back years ago, how we were and where we are now, even though there's a long way to go, we can understand that. But also there is a real practical application that you can see in the examples, like this yesterday's topic. I love Lord Shiva's prayers. There are so many prayers that are so wonderful. All the prayers are amazing. But in the case of the Prachetas, what you see is, of course, they were pure at heart and they had extraordinary qualities. And Lord Shiva recognizes that, and he gives them additional mercy by reciting those prayers. And when those pure living entities, they heard this amazing prayers coming from Lord Shiva, they become even more enlivened. And then they goes to meditation and seeing there and knowing that Lord Vishnu appears. And finally, what Lord Vishnu says is that I appreciate this quality of yours, that you are in friendship with each other while you are engaged in your devotional service. That was Lord Vishnu's one of the points, that Lord Vishnu is addressing them. Because you are friendly with each other while engaged in devotional service, I give you this benediction. And that tells you the importance of devotees in one's life. And the quarrels come because of we are stuck on the petty aspects of life. Age of Kali, everybody is quarreling with each other on small things, big things, nothing at all. Sometimes there is no reason to quarrel at all, or you invent a reason and quarrel. That's the nature of age of Kali. But what is the meaning of the word even devotee? A devotee should be thoughtful by nature. Devotee has to be thoughtful by nature. So, while it is a fact that, okay, in course of time, by staying together, slowly, because we are chanting and all that, all these unwanted things will go away. But for me personally, I feel that it's very important for me to realize that I need to make a conscious effort. I have no time to invest on petty quarrels. No way. There may be, somebody can say that there are a million reasons why, I can get upset or angry with somebody. No matter who says what, there is absolutely no justification for us to be holding on to that kind of thoughts among the devotees. Forget about your dealings in the outside world, because we can see very clearly, without the mercy of those devotees, one is not going to go anywhere. And not just because it's not like, okay, I'm going to get the mercy of this devotee, so I'm going to make progress, so I will not quarrel. Not like that at all. I feel like it is like naturally you come to a position that nothing in this world, whether you build a mansion, you live in a hut, whether you have money, you don't have money, whether you think that, oh, this thing that I am doing is the most important, so everybody else should be falling at my lotus feet. None of these kinds of thoughts, nothing is going to work. Nothing is so important, nothing is worth it, because we can see our life is such a short, temporary nothing. It's a very what to say, we live here for such a short time. Within that time, somehow, by Krishna's mercy, we are able to chant his holy name. And yet, if we don't invest our time and energy into Krishna and what he wants us to do, what will be pleasing to him, If each individual do not invest that, then this is just a mechanical process. Mechanical process will go on forever. But conscious effort has to be there. Conscious effort means, what I'm saying is self-correction. Self-correction has to be there, meaning, okay, I may get angry with somebody, but this is not the end of the world. What am I getting angry with? Some people may get angry. Oh, I am sweeping this temple. Somebody else took my broom and that person is sweeping. Now I'm so mad with him. Is it worth it? It is not at all worth it. It is not worth fighting with any devotee. And if at all it happens, it is not worth holding on to it. That is a very simple thing. Every human being, every devotee can apply it in their life. And if that alone is done, immediately, think through and have a course correction. Because see the example of just this one example in this case of Prachetas. The most pleasing thing for Vishnu, I mean, Lord Vishnu was also glorifying Lord Shiva. And he was very pleased to see that friendly behavior among the Prachetas and how spontaneously he blessed them. Not only with all opulences, but also with the benediction that you will never get entangled in this world. You will come back to me. If Krishna sends that thing to you, your devotional life is guaranteed. Why do you want to jeopardize your devotional life just fighting with somebody for a tiny little thing like, oh, this service, that service, you took it, you are better than me, and you may be thinking like this of me. All this mental concoction is unnecessary waste of time. One should not give even 1 minute of one's time into those things. That is where I feel like when I see somebody overcoming that and behaving very nicely, even if you think somebody is your enemy, that gives me really faith and confidence in this process. Oh, here is Krishna really acting in the lives of these devotees, that they are able to overcome this difficulty and they are able to extend themselves to each other. Then I fall at their lotus feet. I feel that way. And this particular section, of course, the whole of Srimad Bhagavatam, I'm not an expert in Srimad Bhagavatam, but whatever little, when I read, this is what I'm seeing there. And I'm sure Gopal Hari Prabhu can elaborate much nicer, but I feel it. I literally feel it. I see it happening within our circumstance right here. We are all not advanced devotees, but you can see that refinement Krishna is bringing in the lives of people there is some mercy coming to them from Krishna. Therefore, they are able to overcome those obstacles and their interactions improve. And when you see that this is Krishna working in their lives, why Krishna is working in their life? Because they are open to that. They are open to receiving Krishna, and therefore they are able to serve that way. They are able to put aside their own personal agendas and say, okay, so now, I'm going to refine myself. I'm going to do this way. You're seeing that among a group of practicing devotees, all of us who are very, very beginners in Krishna consciousness. When that happens in a community, you see hope. You see the presence of Krishna. I'm going to tell to Gopal Hari Prabhu to comment further.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam. Yes, what you're saying is very true, and it's all of these things are the very process of bhakti. So I was just thinking this, that each individual struggle that we have is actually each exchange, each individual struggle that we have is actually there in one sense for our advancement. And by overcoming it, like you were saying, we are actually coming closer to Krishna. We actually advance. So all the challenges that come up to us, like you're saying, like, it's not by chance that we get them. Like you were saying yesterday, why is it that we're in Naperville? We could have been in Hungary, we could have been in Chaupati, we could have been in Vrindavan, we could have been devotees there. So we're here because Krishna has certain challenges for us, and when we overcome them, then each one that we overcome, we come closer to Krishna, because overcoming them requires a level of sacrifice and surrender. Otherwise, we stay, we're at the same time, like you were saying, purification, real purification happens in the process of hearing and chanting, and that helps us overcome. So, the longer we do it, the more we do it, the more we are having that. And just one thing of my own personal experience is like that a lot of these things, that over time we learn them. It's no matter how much we try, it just takes, like Prabhupada said, we cannot get the kingdom of God by storm. It just takes time, because I remember my own life, like 10-15 years ago, I was going through a struggle with some conflict and this and that, and no matter what anyone said to me, I couldn't accept it. I couldn't like surrender to it. I couldn't accept it. But then just over time Krishna's gave some experiences by which I could understand, oh no, this is even though everyone was a spiritual master, senior devotees, they're all trying to correct me, put me on the right path, but then I got certain experiences by which then I go, oh, this is why I was wrong. This is what they were trying to say. This is what I had to see. So it's our conscious practice, and it's also like it's just like Prabhupada said, that if we stay alive somehow in Krishna consciousness, then one day the inheritance will be given to us. One day Krishna gives us experiences like you have experienced so many times in your life. Also, you described where Krishna, not a devotee, but our situation really smashes us. And then we understand, oh, this is why it's a good idea to be humble. And His Holiness Rompa Swami said that when, I think, maybe it was Balaram Prasad Prabhu, you asked the question. I think he said, how can we learn how can we learn humility? Something like that, general question. And he said, well, we can learn it, and if we don't have to worry. We just have to wait a little bit, and Krishna will just Krishna will make us humble. So yeah, I think that's my small comment addition to whatever.
Yes. It's wonderful. But I was also thinking that even your personal example you gave about what one time not being able to accept a correction, and as the time went by, you were able to, and you will be able to. I feel like in my life, I feel you are able to do that only because you are paying conscious effort, as well as a very conscious way of practicing. And if there is no conscious practice, then how can it attract the mercy of a devotee? And without the mercy of a devotee, how can you, with your own effort, be able to overcome all the shortcomings, deficiencies that you have? So, right, I feel that without attracting that mercy of a devotee in your life, your spiritual master, or devotees who are serious in their spiritual practice, it can come from all directions. There are so many people with whom we are interacting. It can come from all angles, and I feel without their mercy and our own conscious practice, the chances are slim. It will take longer and longer and longer time. And how much time do we have? We can say that, okay, in another lifetime, we will try. But there is no guarantee of anything, because, if we continue, whatever it is that we are, the pace at which we are going in our lifetime, we can see that there are many ups and downs. And so it's not going to be like, because you entered into another life, it's all smooth progress in one direction. It is not going to be. It could be ups and downs still further. So is that what we want to choose, or do we want to choose something right now when it is, when we are aware of this at this moment, we are fully aware of this, and this is the moment to choose. I feel urgency in that. That urgency comes only by conscious practice. I mean, I'm not saying that by our own effort we can do anything at all. Like you said, when challenges came, it was not easy to deal with it. Like you said, it took some time. Yeah, sometimes it will take a long time, but then also we are also aware we are intelligent human beings. God has given us the intelligence to introspect, and then we make a conscious effort. Conscious effort definitely will attract the mercy of devotees. Then by the mercy of the devotees, something good will come in life.
Yes.
I feel. Yeah. Balaram Prasad Prabhu, I don't know if you feel anything at all on this.
This is it's everybody's effort. It's not an individual effort. That's how when there is a flower vase, there is in diversity, right? Everybody has their own kind of variegatedness, and they have their own thoughts. So if you all come together in a kind of a discussion and share your thoughts and we correct ourselves, nobody is purified yet, right? In that way, purification happens even in the end of life also. Never know. So nobody is perfect. Everybody is in their practices. So that,
but each one of us have got.
Yeah. Everybody
but each one has got control over oneself.
See, as you said, the life is, and we have seen, life is fragile. Anytime, anything may happen. Everybody, I am completely aware of it. In spite of it, my experience, I'm completely aware of it. But as long as I'm here, we want to be happy and serve each other with a smiling face. That's all. Nothing else.
Hare Krishna, I can't wait to say one little thing. Sorry to interrupt. And I cannot, assume that I have this very intelligent clue or anything like that. But my feeling is that the pebble that jumps out of the bag, it has run out of all pious credits. I mean, as Mataji said, the pious credits can come from the mercy of Krishna or the spiritual master. And as we have heard before, Srila Prabhupada generated the pious credits for all his disciples. It's not that they came with the pious credits. So it is a matter of running out of one's pious credits that make that pebble jump out, I feel. What to do? There is no mercy coming to its rescue. Hare Krishna, that is my thought. Thank you so much.
And temporarily we may leave or jump out, and sometimes it's even good for devotees to like a little distance, like that helps them introspect. But the thing is that we still have to come back into the bag, and we don't actually leave. So it's also sometimes even great souls in our movement, they left for some time and they were in Maya, but then Krishna brought them back through some very amazing intense experience. So many disciples of Prabhupada like that, they left for a few years and then they came back. So Prabhupada, one thing, he didn't want us to leave, but even if a devotee leaves, it's not that they are lost. And of course, you're not saying that, but I'm just clarifying my own statement in terms of the bag. But we, from our side, we try to stay in the bag because we know that is the process of purification. Like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he had said that this movement is like a hospital. And in the hospital, we can only expect sick people. So like Balaram Prasad Prabhu was saying, we all have our different issues, and so some less and some more. We can only expect sick people, but even though they're sick, the best place for them is the hospital. Where else is a better place? But then the patient, when he's there, has to actively try to cure himself also. Otherwise, the hospital just becomes a cafeteria. So we should stay in the place so that we get recovered. But bhakti is so wonderful that it forcibly carries us to Krishna. So we also can't be too worried about it. We have to engage in the process and understand that these things happen, but I still have to keep going on. And I think that's what Premananda Mataji is also saying, that we will have our things, but the greatness, or you could say the success of devotees is seen by the fact that somehow they keep going. They pick themselves up and they keep going.
Very much. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. It's a good discussion. That's why we discussed, because Bhagavatam, we are reading Bhagavatam, but we have to imbibe that same principles in our life also. So trying to understand. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We can maybe end now. It's 8:40, so good point to end. Very nice discussion. Thank you. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.